Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. For come rain, shine, or anything in between, we're here to deliver to you the Kansas State sporting news that you so love. I'm Ace Edwards, right alongside
Connor Baltazar.
And welcome to what is, in terms of games, or at least variety of sports, going to be one of the most wide breadth in terms of weekly recaps that we have done in quite some time. Soccer, volleyball, and then both of the catsketballs. But we're just going to go ahead and dive straight into soccer. We had two matches, a loss up against a very highly rated and well thought of Texas Tech team 3-1, and then a draw up against a stinky Iowa State squad 2-2. In those last two goals were scored by Iowa State in the 67th and 78th minutes. So that one just kind of hurts. Like that, it just sucks because Iowa State is not good. And Connor actually had to correct me on this. I will gladly own up to my mistake here. I thought that BYU and Arizona State had both won already, so we were eliminated from Big 12 contention. That is not the case. With this draw, I think we are. But
yeah, we had to win. That was the sticking point. Like, we had to win, and then everyone in front of us, I think, needed to lose or draw. Because I think we would have held tiebreaker over Cincinnati, BYU, Arizona State. I think we needed them to lose. And I think same with Houston. I'm not 100% sure. I think we needed them to lose. But yeah, so it was still a long shot, but it was very much in contention. And honestly, in theory, the most automatic part of the whole process would have been us beating Iowa State, because Iowa State is not a good soccer team. We are, even when we were bad, we were pretty competitive with them. So like every year of our existence, we've at the very least like kind of been able to hang around with Iowa State, because they've really never been a good soccer program. So this is not just a bad loss in terms of what was on the line for K-State, but it's embarrassing in terms of just how garbage of a program Iowa State is. Like, and we can say that now. We're capable. We've had a good enough year that we can have embarrassing losses, which I suppose is a positive to draw from the game if you're going to draw any. But I learned from listening to Bosco's boys, Scott's interview with Brian Smoller, that we were in the first five out for the NCAA tournament bubble, which I don't think we even knew what the NCAA tournament was before this year in soccer. So honestly, there was a lot riding on this game. And for us to get out to a 2-0 lead and blow it, which, being fair, 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer. This one still really hurts, especially to give up that lead to a bad team that we're just flat better than. I think that especially after the first goal Iowa State had, it really took the wind out of our sails, and we just didn't look the same. Even late when we had a few chances, we seemed really hesitant to take the shot that we needed. We were trying to get closer. And I think if on a few more occasions we had instead pulled the trigger, instead of trying to get the perfect shot, instead took the good shot, I think we might have won this one. But also, the ref hadn't sucked. I thought the ref was horrendous in this game. Like, genuinely terrible. But I don't know if it cost us the game or not, but the head official was very, very, very bad. And that was annoying and frustrating as well. So yeah, and this was the second game I think I've been to this year. And unfortunately, both were disappointing results. One was a near draw turned to loss against TCU, who is in the running to win the Big 12. And then, of course, this draw against, if we were playing soccer anywhere else in the world, they would be relegation fodder, is what they would be. Like, they would be at risk of being sent down to the Missouri Valley right now, is what would be happening with Iowa State.
Yeah, it is refreshing to definitively say that we are better than a team. We haven't been able to say that in a while. However, it sucks that we are having to do that in the context of we drew with them.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I was very annoyed by this result, really disappointed. I know, zoom out to 30,000 feet and look at this season and the result of the year, push us back to like the end of July and say ask me, would I take this result? Like back then, I would say 100%, absolutely, I would take this result. I'd lock it in because we've never finished over 500 ever. And we've done that now. So, Colleen Corbin has proven that she can win here at K-State and proven that K-State can win soccer games. Our RPI is 41. I think it'll probably go down after this draw, honestly. But prior to this season, the highest I think we'd ever had was still over 100. So this is genuinely a really good, really great season for K-State. I think Colleen Corbin deserves to win Coach of the Year in the Big 12. Probably won't, just because that's just how those things go. It'll probably just go to Texas Tech's coach or something like that, or whoever ends up winning the league. But Colleen Corbin should be Coach of the Year in the Big 12 for the job that she has done. Just a really, really great 1 year turnaround. And, the stage is now set for next year to be even better.
Yeah. I just want to put into context, because I 100% agree with you that she should win Coach of the Year, even if I somehow keep getting her last name wrong. Colleen Corbin inherited a roster that last year went 3-12-3 and did not win a single conference game. They went 0-9-2 in conference. So they drew twice, and that's the best that they could do. And then this year, she goes 7-6-5 and a 2-5-4 conference record. So 2 more conference wins, but nearly doubling the amount of victories total and doubling the amount of draws, which, you never want to play for a draw. But the amount of progress that we had from the last year of Dabini to the first year of Corbin, that should be applauded. And that has just sort of put the program on the upward trajectory in my mind, simply because for years and years, the question was, will K-State ever really be able to win, to compete? Because there were years where we just weren't competitive in the Big 12 at all. This year, it took 1 year of Colleen Corbin to show that not only can we be competitive in this league, we can win in the Big 12 and be NCAA tournament and Big 12 tournament contenders. Not probably winning, but at least making the tournament. And that's year 1. So to me, that should be the open and shut case for why she should be Coach of the Year, because she inherited a pile of crap and then turned it into not an amazing program, but a respectable one.
I think that's the big takeaway is for almost the first time in the history of K-State soccer, I'm not embarrassed about the output of this team. The other lone exception was when we barely snuck into the Big 12 tournament that one season. Just to get 4-0'd by Texas immediately. But we finally looked at least a little competent. And I think most of it is Colleen Corbin, honestly. Like, it's a lot of the same players. Obviously, like a lot of new players too. But a lot of these players are on the roster already. Andra Moeller was on the roster. Hannah Palmer was on the roster. Allison Marshall. There's a good chunk of the players that were on the roster. Like, not to grave dance, but like Mike DeBini wasn't getting it done. He is actually still coaching. He is the head coach right now at UC Riverside. They are 0-15-2 right now, and they're playing their last game of the year right now against UC Davis as we are recording, and that's a 0-0 game in the first half. So he was the problem. It was really that easy.
Yeah, there really is no other way to get around it. Yeah, that is indicative of, yeah, he was the problem.
Yeah, like he's out coaching Big West soccer and is not very good at it. Like they started their season August 14th. They didn't score a goal until September 18th.
Oh my god.
Like,
oh my.
like things not great, honestly. Not great. Like, I mean, to be fair, this is not a historically great program. Like, they won only 2 matches last year, 2 the year before, and 2 the year before that. But 0 is less than 2.
Yeah, wow.
So
yeah, the good old retire fire scheme has seemingly worked out in K-State's favor.
Yeah, so I am glad that we moved on because I think we've upgraded. I think that much is obvious because we've gone from, barely hanging on and feeling happy that we've been able to get a result or not lose by much to like now we're at a point where we feel comfortable being frustrated that we're not doing well enough. Like, and I'm happy about that, especially because things seem to be on the up and up for the future. So thank you, Colleen Corbin, for a great year 1. Please come back.
And she should win. We're just going to leave off that she should win Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
But now we can move on to the Volleycats, and they had 2 matches as well, one of which was contributing to perhaps the funniest Sunflower Showdown weekend that we've had, certainly in the history of this show. It might be the funniest Sunflower Showdown weekend, perhaps in history. But K-State goes to a ranked KU matchup. They were ranked number 14 in the country at the time. They moved the game to Allen Fieldhouse, and then they proceed to lose against K-State. They smacked K-State in the first set, 25-14. Then K-State comes right back, 25-17, KU 25-18, and K-State wins the last 2 sets, 25-23, and then 15-18. So there's like layers of humor here. The first layer to me is that we beat a ranked KU team. The second layer is that they moved it to Allen Fieldhouse. I think didn't you say it was to break their attendance record?
It was. I think that was their goal. Was they wanted to set an attendance record, and like I think kind of make like a big game out of it. And I think that it helped them get the game on actual like broadcast TV as well. So like there was a few things at play. Plus, I think it probably didn't hurt to move it to the same weekend as the football Sunflower Showdown. So
yeah, and then of course they lose the football Sunflower Showdown and the baseball scrimmage, and they get pantsed in the baseball scrimmage and football. So honestly, absolute cinema. But it was a great weekend to be a K-State fan in our state. But in this match, Anaya Clinton led in kills and aces with 16 and 3 respectively. Shaylee Myers, not to be outdone by much, had 15 kills on the match. Jordan Williams had 8 blocks. assists. Ava LeGrand with 33, and then big Simone Sims had 26. So pretty balanced in terms of doing the scoring. Anaya Clinton has really come on a surge as of late. And this is one of those matches where against a ranked KU team, we really needed Anaya Clinton's just ability to hit absolute piss missiles on the court.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. This was a weird match because I don't know, for those listening, Ace, I know you've seen them, but for those listening, I don't know if you've seen the videos of like competitive slapping, but that's kind of how the first 3 sets went. Was each team just taking a giant slap at the other, back and forth for those first 3 sets, because they were all kind of blowouts, honestly. But then K-State really locked in in set 4, ground out a tough victory in set 4, and I honestly think that carried them through to the 5th set, because K-State was down 16-11 at one point, and kind of just clawed their way back. They were down 19-15 as well, and so they really had to fight to get back in this one. But a great stretch of play brought K-State back from the brink, and then they dominated set 5. Like the way that they finished set 4 was a level of mental toughness that hasn't been there always for this volleyball team, but they really showed up in this match, which Brian Smoller said this on his Bosco's Boys interview as well, which is the one positive about KU's current volleyball arena is the capacity is really low, so it's tough for opposing fans to get in. It's like 1,500 people. But so moving to Allen, great for breaking attendance, but the con is that it was almost 20% K-State fans. And there was over 7,500 people there. So that maybe helped carry K-State through. But yeah, this was just an absolutely massive win. K-State really shot up in RPI after this as well, because they were just starting to slip a little bit. But we both really felt they really needed to come away with a win from this kind of long road trip. And they finally got that marquee road win that they so badly needed. Like a win like that can be the difference between the right side and the wrong side of the bubble when it comes time for selection, whatever day they have it for volleyball. We'll say it's Sunday because it just rolls off the tongue a bit better. But super, super happy with the result for K-State. Much needed, much deserved as well.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned that this is a road trip, because if they're able to, well, they've already taken on this road trip. If you look back all the way, the last time that they played in Manhattan was October 10th. Right now, they are currently 2-2 on the road trip, with 2 losses coming to top 20 teams, a victory against a top 15 school, and then taking care of business up against Utah, which, spoilers, they beat Utah 3-1, 25-16, 25-21, 26-24 for Utah, and then 25-23. So they needed to, and they have one more on this road trip. It's another ranked squad in BYU. And, you know, it is a little funny to me that we're going to, I wonder what Provo is like on Halloween. Just personal curiosity. But
I know the BYU's, it's actually on topic because you brought up Provo and Halloween. I was about to say this as a side tangent, but it's actually not. Every year I always see BYU's AD does like an elaborate like Halloween costume. Their athletic director. So I guess they're fine with it. which honestly a bit surprising to me.
Yeah.
Kind of something I assumed, hey, hand up, we learn something new every day. Or in this case, I relearn the same thing once a year. But so I don't know. Not to steal your thunder on that, but
No, you're all right. But you answered my question. Apparently, their AD is a participant in Halloween. I didn't know that.
Yeah, maybe he's not Mormon, which would also be interesting. But
yeah, because I think I
I don't
can't.
think you have to be Mormon to go
No,
to BYU.
you don't. You just
Most are.
yeah, most of them are. I mean, that's why Jake Retzloff got kicked off the team with that debacle, because he raised the defense of it was consensual premarital sex, and
They said don't care.
don't that's worse. It's not worse, but we're leaving it in Utah. The Utah match. The leaders were, of course, Shaylee Myers, pretty much leading in the three major categories. Shaylee Myers with 23 kills, 3 aces, and 3 blocks. Ava LeGrand had 48 assists, and Simone Sims had 23 digs. So, yeah, I mean, we dominated Utah. Utah's 2-7 at the time of this match, so now they're 2-8. Yeah. They were the ones that needed to be the gimme. The difficult one is going up against BYU, which is going to happen the day this comes out.
Yeah, K-State really controlled the first 2 sets. Set 3, they were in the lead, and Utah had to come back and ended up winning. In set 4, Utah almost came back again. They were very pesky in this match. And Utah's a pretty good team. They're just kind of dealing with like injury bug all year. That's really killed them. Because I think preseason they were ranked. They were ranked the first 6 weeks of the year, but really kind of fallen on tough times, which is stuff I picked up from the broadcast. The most notable thing from this match for K-State, I think, is Nia Clinton went down with an injury in the first set pretty early. She collided with Brenna Schmidt. I think took a knee to the head, and Brenna Schmidt carries a lot of momentum with her when she moves, and so Nia didn't play the rest of the match, but she didn't leave the court. She was just on the sideline. But since we're playing BYU, you can't play Sunday, and Saturday I think they have a home football game. So the match won't be Saturday either, so we play them Friday, so short rest. I think if I don't know what her injury is or what her status is, but I'd imagine it'd be a lot more likely that she could come back quickly if that match was on a Sunday instead of on a Friday. But once again, Joseph Smith has made it to where Kansas State will suffer in Provo, and I don't like that man very much.
I think I'm going to leave that one there because Connor also knows that we don't need to go down this hole.
The Alleycats discuss religion. No,
I don't think we should do that.
We are not the messengers for that topic, the prophets, if you will. But
we don't have the golden plates for that one.
Yeah. Anyway, but we did see a few faces in this match we didn't normally see since Nia Clinton was out. We got a lot more Reagan Fox in this match, who I thought stepped up admirably. Simone Sims was great in this match. Ava LeGrand, though, I think the stat sheet doesn't always pop the way that it should for the impact that she had, but she was phenomenal in this match. And Lauren Schneider stepped up. She's played kind of sparingly this year, but And she stepped in as an outside hitter. She's pretty much purely offense because she is a bit undersized. Like Aaliyah Carter got away with being 5'9" because she had like a 70-inch vertical. Lauren Schneider, while she does have a good vertical, she does not have Aaliyah Carter level of vertical. So she's mostly an offensive weapon. But and then Alex Kleckfin, the true freshman, she played some as well. So she stepped up in some big moments for K-State. But so yeah, we definitely went a little deeper in the bench than we normally do. But yeah, of course, Shaylee Myers remains the leader of the team. She's playing well enough to where I think she has a really convincing argument for being the Big 12 Player of the Year. She probably won't end up getting it just because it's. I don't think that we've quite played well enough to get her there, and she didn't really have a lot of preseason hype around her either. But I think she deserves votes for it, and she's almost certainly earned first team All Big 12 because she is second in the Big 12 in average kills per set at 4.77. The leaders at 4.88. That's Anna Burilovich from Colorado who leads there. But yeah, K-State really lucky to have Shaylee Myers, and what a season that she's been having. She's been just phenomenal.
Yeah. So we already mentioned that the BYU matchup is coming up, but then we get quite a generous run of home matches for K-State, which
as we should, man,
as we deserve. Next Thursday we'll be up against Cincy at 6:30. And then Saturday up against Colorado. Then another Wednesday match against Baylor. And then November 15th will be the return match against KU in Manhattan. So after a long road trip, we finally get some more action in the morgue. I don't like that phrasing, but we get to come back home. And yeah, really important stretch of matches for K-State. And now we get to do the traditional RPI check.
Yeah, K-State actually broke the top 40 in RPI. We've taken a big step forward in this last week. We're plus 11 up to 37. So really good spot to be in right now. Just have to keep winning matches. The Big 12 is a really good volleyball league right now. Like we have 7 teams in the top 25 of RPI. Granted, 4 of them are 22 through 25, but KU's at 18, TCU's at 15, and the Arizona State is at 5. Oh, these are actually the Massey ratings that I'm looking at. But RPI should be fairly similar. But K-State's at 37 in Massey ratings. Yeah, they're 42 in on volleyball RPI, which is not updated through the Utah match. So disclaimer there. So they would be a bit higher in RPI. But K-State's in a good spot. Before the Utah match, they were in the field, and they were not one of the last 4 in. So winning on the road in a conference game, that's only going to help. They were, I think, an unofficial 11 seed when that happened because they only rank the first 8, which I don't know why they don't just put a number next to the other 8. Like, that would be totally fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's allowed.
So I don't know why they do that, but that's where they're at right now. I'm hoping we can come away with a stretch of victories here. It's going to be tough, though, because, all these teams coming up, they really have a lot to play for. Obviously, BYU, they're well in the Big 12 race. although Arizona State, they're unbeaten right now. So that's going to be a challenge. Other than that, it's a nice, healthy home slate here coming up. 4 straight home matches. Well-deserved after a month on the road.
Yeah. Long road trip, and, they're trying to make up for it by giving us 2 weeks of the Cats back home. But now we can talk about the exhibitions for both of the catsketball teams. We'll start with the men first because they ended up falling to Missouri 100-91. That is the first time that I think I've seen an exhibition crack 100 for either squad. But I still think there's this was, full disclosure, I didn't get a chance to fully watch this. I was on the road. I was driving while this was going on. But I did get to watch a few highlights. So, the main takeaway from me was we did get our first stuffing of the stat sheet on the year in the first exhibition. Congratulations, Nate Johnson, for being the first stuffer of the stat sheet this year. We'll see if that ends up being a funny trivia question. Who was the first person to stuff the stat sheet in an exhibition, and who was the first one to do so when the games actually counted? But I walked away, although we didn't get out-rebounded by much, I found myself wanting in the post play, which, that's something that we kind of knew was going to happen going into this year, especially when we eventually figured out we weren't getting Tyreek Smith back. That being said, I don't think that Kamari McGriff and Doreen Buka, I don't think either of them played poorly. It's just they didn't play, great.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Buka was just whatever. I thought 6 rebounds is nice. I don't think any of them were particularly difficult rebounds, but it was good for that. Also, Mizzou is a bit of a matchup problem in terms of height, because Mizzou does have 8 7-footers. It feels
they have a bunch of trees on their roster. That's kind of been Dennis Gates's philosophy.
I guess they're just trying to be Purdue, which fair play to them, I guess. McGriff, yeah, similar deal. This is a roster I think that really badly needs Tyreek Smith, but that just wasn't meant to be. Yeah, those were the main guys. Elias Repeak, although from listening to the radio and seeing his pronunciation guide, it's actually Elias Repeak, which I learned when I'm paying attention to the media guide and why I was saying it. So I found that interesting and unexpected, but now we know. He didn't play as much at the 5 or as much as the big as I thought that he might, but he was still decent. I thought in this match, defense all around though was really lacking. Although it was pretty obvious that was not our main focus in this game. We were primarily focused, it seemed, on trying as many lineup configurations as possible to see kind of what was working and what wasn't. And also we seem to be really focused on getting our tempo right and getting the offense right, which, to be fair, those things did work, but I think we probably accomplished our objectives from this exhibition. You always want to win, but it literally doesn't count. So
yeah, no one cares. And this is losing to a tournament team by 9 that you're a matchup problem with, when you're literally just throwing out. And this isn't to say that Mizzou was playing their starting 5 the entire time. They were also throwing out whatever combinations they want, which, that's the point of an exhibition, is to kind of see what works and find your footing. I will say that I've seen some concern. PJ Haggerty was great, but I have seen some concerns about Andre Kostic just getting 7 points and apparently looking pedestrian. He'll figure it out. I'm nearly certain he will.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Kostic in the long term. This was his first regulation American basketball game. Like the game is different here than it is in Europe, and it's an adjustment period. I mean, the ones that are good enough to not need an adjustment period are the ones that get drafted to the NBA and don't play college ball. Like it's that simple, really. And they get a much longer preseason and summer league for the NBA as well for adjusting. But Kostic, offensively, I thought he looked fine. He was playing fast, and you put up a lot of shots. Defensively, definitely could have done better, but again, like that's a note from most of the team. Kostic, I do think in particular, looked a little slow on defense, but that's kind of always been like one of the chief concerns about him is his defensive effort is creative. At times, he creatively interprets how hard to try on defense. But you are right though that PJ Haggerty like was as advertised in this game. Like we brought him in to score and be a lead guard, and that's exactly what he did in this game. He was great. Nate Johnson was really good too on offense and rebounded pretty well too. I was happy with him. Abdi Bashir, 2-7 from 3. That's how life is for high volume shooters. You're going to have games where he goes 2 of 7. There's going to be a game this year where he goes 5 of 7. And that's just fine.
That's life.
Everybody else was kind of take it or leave it. I felt like CJ Jones was not very good in this game, and Moby was like outmatched, I think. Again, just a height thing. But this team's going to take a bit of time to gel. This was not the end-all, be-all of whether this team will be successful or not, but they were, if nothing else, more fun to watch than last year's team.
Yeah, absolutely. Good Lord. But speaking of a team that was fun to watch last year and this year, we have the K-State scrimmage, which actually was down in Tarleton. I think it was because they actually paid us to go there. So,
yeah, I think they either did a couple years ago or they just now moved to Division I. And so they're a new Division I team, and they just opened a new arena. So we were the first game that they played in their new arena.
Yep.
And I guess they wanted to get a D1 team for a regular season game, or like a power school to come visit for a regular season game, and nobody would do it. But we told them that we'd do it if it was an exhibition game, and they were fine with that. So that's why we were there.
Yeah, that's fine. And we got to see some of the new names on this team. And one of them, well, there are two things that I'm staring at that are surprising to me. The first of which is surprising in that I think it's hilarious and that Terrence Sides was the leading rebounder with 9. But the biggest surprise is someone I don't think we talked about all that much in the preseason being the leading scorer, and that's Azalea Arenas. And, I mean, she just came out flamethrower mode, scored the first 11 points, ended up with 22 on the day. But we saw a lot of bodies rotating, some good, some, we said at the beginning, this is a young team. You're going to have a lot of inconsistency. So I don't think anyone is, but I don't think anyone should be pressing the panic button based off of a scrimmage, especially, given everything.
Yeah, I'm with you. Obviously, Azella Arenas, the highlight. There is a K-State Sports Extra article out about how she is in the gym, like doing like a private like shooting workout on her own, like every morning at like 5 a.m., which is like crazy. But I think to be good at sports, you have to be a little crazy. And again, she knows what habits work and what don't. I mean, her dad, Gilbert. But she had a great game. It sounded like, based off of again, I keep yanking content from Brian Smoller's interview with Bosco Sports. But it's very topical, and I also just listened to it like an hour and a half ago, so it's fresh on my mind. It sounded like they were a bit surprised by how well she performed um, in this matchup. Like it sounds like they're expecting a lot of inconsistency from this squad, particularly early in the year, which I think you and I kind of feel the same with and are expecting that too, just because they're a combination of young and haven't played much together. And that typically leads to inconsistency, and that's just part of it. But she was great, especially early. She's really explosive and fast, which is something that K-State didn't have a lot of last year. The past few years for Minnie, it's been a lot more about size and wingspan to kind of complement Yoki in the middle and be able to sit back in a zone and clog passing lanes if we need to. But this year, we've kind of intentionally gone out and changed our style. Talking or listening to Brian Smoller, he talked about how we're kind of going more for like the changing style in women's college basketball, which is going away from these kind of like dominant post players and is instead going for more speed, more possessions, and I'm kind of going for more guard play as opposed to dominant post play. So I'm going to be seeing more like fleet of foot and fast post players as opposed to more like Yoki back to the basket players. And K-State kind of built for that this offseason. Went out and got a lot of quick guards that are good at getting to the rim and a lot of shooters because that's exactly what we did in this game. We had quick guards that played good defense and got steals, and we shot a lot of threes and made a lot of threes as well.
Yeah. I mean, the only person that I can think of that fits the mold of like a true post player on this team is Ramaya White. And I think that's kind of her role is – I don't want to say that we're saving her for the Audie Crooks matches. I am saying that that's probably where she's going to get her starts.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly it. Because, I mean, like, they want to have an option available for, like, being able to switch up the style if they need to. Because there's just going to be days where the shots aren't falling, and they're going to need to switch up the offense to go with what's working. So Ramaya White's there for that reason. And I thought she played fairly decently in this game. I thought that offensively she was just okay. It's tough to go from like 6 years of Ayoka Lee in the post to watching literally anybody else because like she's just so big, strong, and smooth that she just really made it look easy. And I think we got a bit spoiled because by watching anyone else like her size operate in the post, like is just an unrealistic comparison. But I thought she was like quietly decent defensively. Came away with 3 blocks as well. So excited to see more from her as she develops. But she'll probably be coming off the bench for the most part this year.
Yeah. And I think that was always kind of going to be her role, especially with how this roster is constructed. I do want to talk about the young guns, though. Obviously, the main one that people are going to, I think, kind of fixate on, whether rightly or wrongly, is going to be Jordan Spicer. Because you look at her numbers, yeah, she scored 10 points, 21 minutes, but she wasn't the most efficient with them. 3 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 10 from 3, 1 of 2 on her free throws, 2 rebounds, 3 fouls, 4 turnovers. That's young. That is a young shooter. I am not going – if I'm Jeff Mittie, I'm not. I'm not telling her, it's like, oh, you need to tune down your shoot. No, that's who she is.
Yeah. And she started out really well. Like I made her first 2 threes and then just kind of cooled off a bit, but she's got a quick shot. And she's also like bigger, I think, than a lot of people realize. Like she has a lot of size on the perimeter, and she's pretty strong as well. So I think as she gets more playing time, the shots are going to fall more consistently. But and it's like what I said with Abdi Bashir, with shooters like that. Some nights they're going to be falling like crazy, and some nights they just won't be. I mean, she went 3 of 10 from 3 in this game. She'll probably have a game where she goes like 6 of 10 or 7 of 10, and we'll forget all about this one. And I mean, we might as well forget about it now. It's an exhibition game that doesn't count. So, but it was nice to see her on the floor. But yeah, and also not the only freshman. There's a few others.
Yeah. Anaya Foy and Gina Garcia also got some significant playing time. Anaya Foy, who unfortunately is not currently linked on the K-State scoreboard, played 13 minutes, 2 of 4, 0 of 1 from 3, 3 rebounds, 1 foul, 1 turnover, 4 total points. Then Gina Garcia, 17 minutes, 1 of 3, 5 rebounds, 2 fouls, 1 assist, and 4 steals. So again, K-State is always going to do this. Janessa Cotton also got 4 steals, also had 4 fouls to go along with those, though. But this is still, at its core, it is a Jeff Mittie team where they're going to play that type of defense where they're going to go for those steals come hell or high water. And, I mean, we don't have the Jalen Glenn on this roster anymore to kind of – because I think that if Jeff Mittie could recruit one player over and over again, he would either recruit Serena Sundell or Jalen Glenn. Honestly, I think he might recruit Jalen Glenn over and over again just because I think he loves steals that much. And Serena wasn't bad at it, but Jalen was just kind of on another level. But, I mean, yeah, they're going to go for the steals, play that exact same way. So this is still at its core. You can still see the bones of the Jeff Mittie teams that we've seen all these years. It's just new faces and a little bit of a schematic change because we don't have a 6'6" monster in the middle of the court anymore.
Yeah. Gina Garcia was a lot of fun to watch. She's a player that I think is going to, once the game slows down for her a little bit more on the offensive end, she is going to be like a monster. I mean, because Anaya Foy was very fast, particularly for being more of like kind of a wing player. So a little bigger, like she was like pretty fast and better bringing the ball up the floor than I expected. I mean, Gina Garcia is super fast. Like, and it's not just top end speed, but she's really quick as well. I think the best case scenario for this team has Gina Garcia as the starting point guard. I think that that's where we need her because she's a really great passer, has good basketball instincts, and is a hound on defense and can easily burn almost anyone on a fast break. Like, I think Gina Garcia is the type of guard that we need leading the team right now. I don't think she's quite ready yet, though, because it kind of seems like she needs things to kind of come together offensively. But defensively, she's like ready. Like, I have no qualms about that. I think we're going to see a ton of her anyways. The only reason she may not start is if we like decide that we want to have like Taryn or Isella start instead at guard. But regardless, this is still a great guard heavy team. That wasn't even intentional. So it's going to be guard heavy team, 4 out, 1 in most of the time, I imagine. Probably maybe even a little bit of 5 out. I'm really excited to see what they can bring to the table. But it was a little weird, like broadly speaking, to watch this team because they're we talked about it at the end of last year, and we even talked about it leading up to this episode. But we're like, man, it's going to be weird next year because there's so many players we're used to seeing, and now they're just not there anymore. But like now it's really like kind of hitting. It's like Serena Sundell is not on the bench. Like the Glenn twins are not there. Yoki is not there. Well, she's somewhere in the vicinity because she still works for K-State, but she is not playing basketball. Like, let your knees rest, Yoki.
God, that poor woman's knees, man.
She is going to need like robo legs by 40 or something like that. Like,
yeah. So all in all, I'm very happy with how both scrimmages played out for K-State. I think there's a lot of room for hope on this team. I think that the better of the two teams, I guess that we can. The better of the two teams, I think, will probably end up being the men's basketball team. And that's just because I think they're going to be more consistent. If I had to guess, I think that the women's team walks away with a higher ranked victory than the men's team does. But the men's team doesn't drop many, like, what are you doing games outside of conference play on the road.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Like, I think the women's team, this roster in particular, I think they may have a higher long-term ceiling just because of how young they are than the men. But I do think you're right that this year, I think the men are probably like the better prospects for postseason play. But this women's team's still like immensely talented. I think they just need a little bit of time in the oven, and that's fine. And I think that this game against Tarleton was a good example of that. I mean, they had some periods of play where they were just unstoppable, but then they'd go through fairly long chunks of play and just look like a totally different team. And that's just going to kind of be part of it. Like, it's going to be weird going to these non-conference games and like not like just blowing out every single team we face by like 50. Like that's going to be a little strange. Like last year, I can't remember who it was that we played, but we literally just like did load management for Yoki, just did not play her for a game because we were that certain that we'd win.
Yep.
And we had, lo and behold, we won by like 50 or something like that. But yeah, this was probably a good experience for them. Tarleton, actually a pretty good team. I was actually kind of impressed by how well they played. Like they had some good guard play. They had a post player I liked as well. That was actually like a tougher challenge, I think, than I was anticipating.
But it's good to get those challenges out of the way early, just sort of let everyone get their feet wet. But you have any final notes before we sign off?
Just one more reference to the Brian Smoller interview on Boss
Right.
I forgot to mention earlier because it was about volleyball. I have no idea where to get this data from, and it's probably behind a paywall. But he did mention volleyball has, I think, a top 25 class coming in this year, and then a top 10 the following year. So Mansfield is doing work out on the recruiting trail. I imagine that data is behind a paywall somewhere because once you get past men's basketball, finding ratings is pretty tough. Baseball and women's basketball, you can do it. It's just like you got to know where to look. Everything else is just
good luck.
Yeah, money.
He's money. But that wraps up this episode of the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. If you want to follow or contact the show, you can follow us just about anywhere at Aggieville Alleycats. And if you want to email us, we're AggievilleAlleycats@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on a more personal note, I am at ACEdwards00.
I am at Connor Boutsor, capital C, capital B.
And if you want to support the show financially, please be sure to check out the official Aggieville Alleycats merch store. Link found in our podcast and Twitter bio. But most importantly, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. For come rain, shine, or anything between, we're here to deliver to you the Kansas State sporting news that you so love. Stay safe, Alleycats.